I want to begin by congratulating Secretary McDonough for his overwhelming bipartisan confirmation in the Senate. Welcome, Mr. Secretary.
Thank you.
As a member of this committee and as a registered nurse, it's my mission to advance policies that are going to strengthen the VA's mental health care services and invest in evidence-based suicide prevention initiatives. One significant intervention to save veterans' lives is lethal means safety, which has been proven to reduce the risk of suicide. I'm encouraged that the VA has implemented mandatory lethal means safety trainings for some VA employees, but for others and for all community care providers and family caregivers, that training is optional and voluntary completion rates are strikingly low. And this is especially concerning because of the importance of maintaining parity between the care that veterans receive at VA and in the community. And we know that requiring these trainings is necessary. While the completion rate for mandatory providers is over 80%, only a few hundred, like very few hundred community providers nationwide have voluntarily taken the training. And so I introduced the Lethal Means Safety Training Act to ensure that everyone caring for and regularly interacting with our nation's veterans is required to take these life-saving trainings. Mr. Secretary, will you look into actions that you can take with your existing authorities to further expand mandatory lethal means safety trainings and ensure that anyone caring for a veteran is prepared to have a conversation that could save the life of a veteran in crisis?
Yes, there's an offshoot of a question that the chairman asked too, and I'll absolutely look into this.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Secretary. Evidence-based suicide prevention initiatives like lethal means safety are more important than ever during the COVID-19 pandemic, which has led to significantly higher rates of suicide ideation. And I look forward to working with you on this priority. Now, the COVID-19 pandemic has also led to historic job losses. While there have been improvements, the unemployment rate for veterans was 5.2% in February, more than 2 percentage points higher than the rate in 2019. As we look for solutions to ensure that our veterans can find high quality employment opportunities, I'm encouraged by models like the Vet Tech program at Fermi National Laboratory in my district. Fermi Lab offers paid internships to military veterans training as technicians, creating career pathways in industries of the future. This model could also be used to expand employment opportunities for veterans interested in pursuing careers like mental health professionals, which would also address a glaring need at the VA. A 2020 Office of the Inspector General report found severe occupational staffing shortages for mental health professionals across VA facilities, including psychiatrists, psychologists, and nurse practitioners specializing in mental health and substance use disorders. Mr. Secretary, can you describe the VA's strategies to address immediate and long-term mental health workforce shortages, including additional funding or hiring authorities that the VA would need from Congress to carry out those plans?
Yeah, so we don't need additional funding or authorities at the moment, but I'm happy to hear that you're willing to hear it if we assess that we need either of those. The first thing is to retain the talent we have. We have some excellent talent. The second thing, as I said earlier, is to make sure that we are recruiting new talent to that pool. Many of the things that we've talked about already in this conversation, including making sure that we're treating the workforce, including the unionized workforce, with the respect it deserves, making sure that we're having the kind of work atmosphere that's important, that's critical to maintaining and attracting this kind of talent is the next part of that. Third is making sure that we're using relationships in the communities to share best practices and deepen networks and connections among VA and non-VA providers. And so those are some of the steps that we're going to take. The idea that you just highlighted in terms of the Fermi Lab effort, I'm going to take that and talk to our team about that. There is a whole range of programming that we have through our education programming to train and high demand job areas. And so your idea of ensuring that we do that as it relates to mental health and medical professionals generally is a good one. And I'll make sure that we're back in touch with you on that.
Well, I'm certainly really pleased to hear that. And Mr. Secretary, one last question. We know that there are 2 million women veterans in our country. It's the fastest growing group of veterans, and we're expanding gender specific care. But I want to make sure that pregnant veterans receive the high quality maternal health care and support that they need, particularly given that our country leads the world in maternal mortality. And so we have a bipartisan Protecting Moms Who Served Act to support the VA's maternal care coordination programs and to commission the first ever comprehensive study of maternal mortality, morbidity, and disparities among women veterans. And so I hope that you can commit to working with me on policies like that introduced in this Protecting Moms Who Served Act to save moms' lives and eliminate disparities in maternal health outcomes.
I'm eager to commit to do that.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Chairman, I yield back.